Stumbling in would probably be the case. It was, my background was nothing to do with property management or even lettings or estate agency. So, it was really just, I just took a part-time position with APO at their Hayes branch there. And, within a few months really, I immediately thought that my skills were quite transferable and I was really enjoying the role. And very quickly, I went from part-time to actually taking over the whole complex. So I became the property manager for APO Hayes. And then I developed ideas and processes because the whole, for us it was a very new concept, and it was our very first build to rent, a small build to rent scheme in Hayes, 119 units, and it was all a learning process. And actually it was great because I cut my teeth in a smaller complex that was new, where build to rent was relatively in its infancy in the UK to a certain extent. So I learned from ground up, and that's given me a lot of good knowledge and experience to be the GM of now our flagship development, which is here at APO Q. No, I didn't know what BTR was, and actually I had a decision to make when they offered me the full-time role, was to continue to do what I'd had planned to do initially, which was kind of to follow my previous career path, which was mostly military and police. But actually, I'd got a grasp of the idea, and I genuinely believed it. I believed in what they were trying to do, and not just believed it, but very quickly understood that every action that I took, and every process, and every residence event, and every person we got into this development was enjoying their experience so much that I wanted to be part of it. And I knew it was in its infancy, and I knew it was going to start to grow, and I actually thought, this might be a great crossroads for me to have a career change, and I'm really glad I did. The building is gorgeous. I mean, it's just, it's pretty spectacular, and I think everybody that visits us is a bit taken aback by, how clean the lines are, how modern, how user-friendly the building is. We have amazing amenity spaces. This is one of them. We have 4 roof terraces. And we have various areas that you can take meetings and, pods that you can jump into to do some work. So we've had some amazing feedback, and actually the building does a lot of our work for us when it comes to lettings, because we can talk the talk and do all that my lettings team need to do, but actually sometimes it's just a bit of silence to allow them to just really absorb what they're seeing. We have glass balconies all across the development, and we've got amazing lobby areas and the reception and everything that people would expect from a high-end build to rent scheme. So it's fantastic for me to come into work every morning and take a walk around, and particularly if it's a beautiful day, and check the roof terraces and just come out onto the local that we have up here, and just see people, the buzz of activity. Everybody's in their own zone, just working on a Teams meeting or grabbing a coffee or whatever else. And it's a pretty amazing environment to work in. So I'm the general manager. I run multiple teams, lettings, resident hosts, maintenance, cleaning teams. And it's a really, really both proactive and reactive role. It's not for the faint-hearted. You need to really, understand the business and be quite hands-on in regard to how you deal with it. We've got about 1,000 residents here, and they all have their individual needs. We've got apartments. We've got various dynamics going on. We've got a new gym opened. We're still within defects periods, so I'm still dealing with the building team, and there's a lot to it, but it is really rewarding. And you just have to throw a residence event after a really hard week of trying to get things done and organised, and to see that people are really enjoying themselves, and looking at some of the reviews that come through, and you've been given 5 stars, or people have dropped a soundbite on their way past just to say how much they're enjoying it. They only moved in a week ago and they're loving it, and it's those things that that really kind of make you appreciate what the role is. However, it isn't for the faint-hearted, and you really need to be quite a dynamic person who can think on their feet, somebody who's proactive, somebody who's energetic, somebody who can think outside the box a lot of the time, and somebody who has a real understanding of people's needs, a real empathy, a real compassion for the issues they may face. This is their home, and we're dealing with a very very important part of their life, their home life, their personal life is all what we deal with. So I think it's really important that if anybody's thinking about coming into the industry, is to understand that. So you've got to understand who you've got coming in initially, we're a build to rent with 487 units, the vast majority of those units are fully furnished, and that's because people are coming in, primarily from overseas. A huge percentage of our residents are coming in from overseas to work on projects. They're either coming on their own or with their partner, or they're bringing their family with them. The rest of the demographic will be national, but coming in from quite far away. So a lot of people are coming into this development with very little understanding of London or Kew, West London, whatever it is, and it's also a real melting pot of cultures as well, and professions. But one thing they all do have in common is they're here for a reason, and they're here for maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they want to enjoy their time here. They want to enjoy their personal time. They want to meet other people. They want to have friends to go coffee with. They want to go have people to go gym with, or go for a run with, or take their dogs to go for walks with, or whatever else. So it's understanding that and being able to tailor residence events and community events. And they don't have to always be big. Last Tuesday I just put a couple of hot plates outside the main reception and made pancakes for a few hours, and just got people chatting in the line while they were waiting, and watching me whip up a new mix, and watching me flap around trying to find more strawberries or whatever else. But it's just a great dynamic, and it's just people switching numbers on in the queue and saying, oh my gosh, you work for Facebook too, I've never seen you in the office, and all of that kind of stuff, and it's just getting that dynamic going, and involving them in all the things that we do, and keeping them appraised of new events, stuff that goes on the app. We've got an Apple app that they can buy stuff off each other, or arrange dog walks or stuff like that. So it really just develops this community, and then once you've got the inertia, they start doing it themselves. They've created huge WhatsApp groups, they've got different groups on our app and all that kind of stuff, and suddenly you see people who didn't know each other 2 weeks ago going out for a run at 6 o'clock in the morning, or going for coffee, or meeting up at the work canteen because they found out they're in the same office, and all of that kind of stuff. So that really aids us in retention, customer satisfaction, all of that kind of stuff. It kind of what makes, I think it's the lifeblood of what we do. So I'm in the office early, sometimes try and hit the gym before I get in here, and then it's you hit the ground running, and you always do. Every day is the same. It's a mixture of reactive issues that you deal with your team, and you support your team. It's about site walks, making sure the place is looking great, picking up any issues, then maybe taking some time out to work through the budgets, ensure that all the move-ins are good, and various elements of it. Liaising with the PR team, making sure we have some events, booked in for the next month, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a real kind of spectrum, a wide spectrum of things that you may need to do. I could be dealing with budgets in the morning, and I could be helping one of my team move a bed out of an apartment in the afternoon, just because maybe we're short-staffed. But it is that dynamic, and I think that's really important for people to understand.